There's nothing better than doing a mud bath right here.
Gorgeous. Ladies and gentlemen, Vagabuddies, welcome back to the channel. Right now, I am in Tuscany. I'm on a road trip with my girlfriend, Carrie, and we are standing above what might be the most beautiful hot springs I have ever seen. The Saturnia hot springs in southern Tuscany, and oh my God, I cannot wait to get in there.
Might be the most beautiful hot springs you've ever seen. Oh my gosh, that is like a hot springs wonderland. We turned around that corner right there and it just opened up to this view and both of our jaws just dropped. Look at that. It's Hot Spring Disneyland, but only has about 5 people in it because of the time that we're here, which is amazing.
Well, we just got to the hot springs. Incredible place, very mellow. Never seen anything like this with the water just like cascading down into all of these natural pools, nestled up against this old mill here. It's gotta be one of the nicest free natural hot springs in the world. And we're super excited to get in. So we will see you on the other side of this bath.
This is definitely the most beautiful hot spring I've ever been to. It's not the hottest. It is hotter than the temperature outside, which is nice. When you're in the water, you feel like it's just the perfect temperature. As soon as you raise up a little bit, it gets a bit colder, but we are here in February, so it's cold here right now, but it still feels so good. And just looking around, it's incredible. It's huge, and I've just never been to a hot spring this big.
Well, for our first stop in Tuscany, that was incredible. I think I could just live in that pool, honestly. But there's more hot springs to explore. There's much more to explore. So we're gonna pack up, head into the car, and drive north. Bit of a surprise here. We are surrounded by snow. This is a 2-wheel drive car, so we're driving very carefully and trying to avoid the patches of snow. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, good morning. It is hot spring number 2 here in Tuscany. We are at the Acme Sun Filippo. First made it into the history books because a hermit lived here in the 13th century. And I have to say, if I were gonna be a religious hermit, I would definitely be posted up right next to a hot spring. Can't have sex, can't, do very many other fun things, but you can soak. And soaking almost makes up for all the rest of the stuff. So we're gonna head down this little trail, beautiful little forest. right below the snow line. Had a bit of a surprise last night driving here. Google Maps routed us through this little back road and we popped out in the old town of some town around here and quite literally got the car pretty much stuck. Thank God. That was ridiculous, honestly.
Well, mud treatment, first and foremost, is an exfoliant because of the grain in the mud. It removes dead skin, and at the same time it moisturizes because this mud has been sitting at the bottom of this sulfur bath for so long.
Just like accumulating minerals.
Just adding all of that into your skin.
So that's kind of why a lot of these hot springs out here in Tuscany were made famous originally. In the 13th century, a religious hermit came out here and decided it was a pretty good place to worship the Lord. But after that, you know, a lot of these like spa towns in Europe in like the 1800s and stuff, they became very popular with people who had, you know, different ailments, sicknesses. For modern medicine, almost everything could be cured by soaking in mineral waters. But for me, I'm still a big fan of just coming out to the natural places because you can't get any better than this.
If you go to a spa, especially in Los Angeles, and get a mud bath, it's going to be anywhere from $60 at the very lowest to $160 to $400.
Yikes.
It just depends on where you're going. But here you can do it completely free in Tuscany, obviously, and you can experience this. I mean, there's nothing better than doing a mud bath right here.
Gorgeous. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have been very lucky to have this entire thermal spring to ourselves all morning. But it's been about 2 hours of soaking. We've had a free mud treatment, and I think we're ready to pack things up and continue the road trip. So let's go explore more of Tuscany. So now we are at the town of Vignoni. There is also a thermal resort here, and the ruins of these old mills and a pretty incredible like sulfur wall right here that just drops off, and got a view of one of the hilltop towns in the background, castles, all covered with like steaming hot springs. It's pretty awesome. But supposedly they have a main plaza here, and in the plaza is a big thermal pool right in the middle of the plaza. Don't think you can bathe in it anymore, but it's supposedly very beautiful, so we're gonna go check it out. Not gonna lie, a little bit let down. Supposed to have the thermal pool right in the middle of town. Built in the Renaissance by the Medicis, who bathed here. If you don't know anything about the Medicis, read The Prince by Machiavelli. Learn how to be a global leader. A little bit ruthless, a little bit antiquated, but still a good read. And yet here we are. No bagno. Still a beautiful little town though. I'm gonna putz around, try to grab a cappuccino, and then I think it's time to andiamo. So we asked around town, and the reason why the bath is drained is because over time it accumulates algae, totally natural, but they have to empty it every once in a while and scrape it clean. And right as we're leaving, the bath is being filled again. So where are we off to now?
Pienza, little town. We figured it'd be good to get a place for a couple of nights. Alex has some laundry he needs to wash from being in Scotland. So we figured going into a city where we can get some dinner, wash our clothes, get a hot shower. For some reason we've been struggling to find hot water at the last few places that we've stayed, so.
Other than the natural hot water.
True, but we need to get some of that sulfur off of us because we're a little bit stinky right now, I could imagine.
Let's go. Good morning, Vagabuddies. It is a beautiful day here in Pienza, Tuscany. It's known for its pecorino cheese. And it's also known for just being a really lovely little hilltop town. Just watched the sunrise out over the countryside from the edge of the town walls. And now we're gonna go grab a cappuccino. So stick around. So Pienza has a pretty interesting history. It wasn't always known as Pienza. It was first mentioned back in the 9th century under the name Corsignano, and it would keep that name until the mid-1400s, when a young man, eventually to become a very influential man, named Pope Pius II, renamed the town his hometown after himself. When you're Pope, why not make your hometown a vacation home and rename it after yourself? I mean, come on, it's the 1400s, right? But he rebuilt the town, and he did it in the Renaissance style. This was the first time this had ever happened in history. The entire town was rebuilt by a very influential architect from Florence. The architect's name was Bernardo Rossellino. He began reconstruction in 1459, and he finished his masterpiece in 1462, El Duomo, which was consecrated by Pope Pius II. The town was made a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996, and the entire Val de Orcia was made a UNESCO Cultural Landscape in 2004. Definitely worth visiting. It's super small, but it's beautiful.
If you want to interview me, I'm fine.
Yeah?
I'll enjoy it. It's all over bullshit.
What is the best part about Pienza?
Well, the restaurants.
Yeah?
They're all very good. It's a beautiful town. We've been here last summer and we enjoyed it very much.
I keep thinking about what this place is like during the summer when it's nice and hot outside and there's a bunch of people. Right now, all of the restaurants have the chairs kind of stacked together and there's only a few restaurants here and there open right now. But the cool thing about it right now is that you can walk through the streets, you feel like you're the only person here. It feels like a movie set. You can kind of explore and get an idea of like each little nook. It's really, really, really beautiful. is definitely my favorite part of Pienza. The view that you get of the countryside. There's a wall that lines the town, and you can just come stand here and stare at that view all day. It looks like a painting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're gonna have to say arrivederci. Hopefully you enjoyed this journey through Tuscany as much as we did, whether it was the hot springs or the beautiful old town of Pienza. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to Carrie's channel as well. But don't leave just yet, we're not quite done. We're heading to Venice tomorrow for Carnevale. So, in the meantime, remember, stay curious, keep exploring, and we will see you on the road. Peace.